YouTube? Ring, 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 ring. Today we're going to talk about some boxing news and what's up with boxing. And it's about to get big. And this is a YouTube live that you do not want to miss. So let's get in the algorithm. Let's get in those news feeds. Click the like, double tap for like, subscribe. And if you want to see more about this event that's coming up and what I'm talking about, subscribe because I'll be covering this boxing event. What's up, YouTube? Let's talk. Hey, let's talk. Jake Paul. I mean, this got me excited enough to come on here and talk about it. That guys, Jake Paul versus Davis. Are you kidding me? What do you guys think? All right, so we got Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, guys. Now this is gonna be a good fight, right? And you look in the videos and you see Jake Paul and Davis at the stand-up, and you could tell it's a little scripted. The standoff was a little scripted, right? Because Davis was like kind of like, looking down, like, standoffish. Even the guys around him were like stepping back. Seemed a little planned, like someone maybe told him, like, hey, if you want this to go good and how we're advertising and stuff, we're gonna need you to kind of be the timid one and let Jake be extra confident. So it's a sweeter win for you if you win, and it makes Paul extra confident. I think that Davis is gonna win. I'm a big Jake Paul fan, guys. Love Jake Paul. love Jake Paul, but I'm pretty good at calling him. You know what I mean? I'm like De Niro when I call him, right? I don't lose. So my prediction is Davis gets the best of him. Of course, it could be fixed. You know what I mean? They even let Paul beat Tyson, and we all know, but that was a great exhibition match. But what I'm saying is Davis. All right, like I'm a big Jake Paul fan, so I don't need to look into Jake Paul very much. You know what I mean? I know his fighting style, and I'm impressed with Jake Paul. But I looked at a couple of his training videos, and yeah, he's training hard, right? But I looked at like 2 seconds of a Davis video, and this cat got speed, man. Like this kid could like and I'm like thinking like, oh damn, poor Jake Paul's chin, bro. Like this little dude's like signature move is like hitting the speed bag like up above him. Like that's like what he really worked on because he's shorter, right? So this dude's gonna be like speed bagging on Jake Paul's chin, because Jake Paul's overconfident, and you did an exhibition match with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was doing it for fun to make money for his daughters, granddaughters, and stuff. And you had a lot of good wins with like older fighters. And I mean, even the one match that made him a contender was the last fight. That was a pretty fair fight. Jake Paul's been he's gotten his flowers. Jake Paul's definitely legitimate, but this Davis fight, the way they're making it look like Davis is the timid one, and they're making it look like because he's shorter, you know what I mean? And Jake Paul's kind of like towering over him, and like how they have him standing there with the Carhartt on, no muscles showing, hands in his pocket, looks at him with puppy dog eyes down at the ground. We all know Davis is a straight gangster. Like we know this dude is probably trying to contain himself so he doesn't like act a fool in front of the whole world, like we know that dude's a killer. Like, and Jake Paul's, he's rugged up the past couple years, but Jake Paul don't is just as good as any other fighter, and it's going to be a great fight. So, but I mean, and I don't see color. I'm talking about skill, and that Davis dude's going to win. I mean, Jake Paul might, if he goes completely Rocky on him, and if he's got Adrian in the crowd and his heart's really in it, sure he'll win. But Jake Paul's coming off a win streak, confident. You know what I mean? Like he plays a serious game, and he talks real serious, and he seems real serious. I like Jake Paul a lot, but just from a winning standpoint, I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything. But I just think that Davis's speed, because I think that Jake feels like he's going to beat him up, because in the way Jake's talking to him, Jake's saying stuff like, "I gave him a great opportunity, and I'm paying him, and I'm letting him fight me." I think this little kid's gonna. I think Jake Paul's gonna have. I don't know. I just see Jake's Paul face being opened up. I see a lot of blood on Jake Paul. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying I don't think that this. If I was Jake Paul, word on the street is like I'd be scared, man. I'd be scared as hell. Like this Davis cat, you could just tell that like he ain't really about like the gimmicks and the fun. Like this cat really might just really lay it down. Like I could see his speed, and at first I'm sure that Paul's really gonna lay it to him, and he expects to take it, the first couple rounds. But I bet you round 2, 3, man. Like you hear Mike Tyson talk, right? Mike Tyson, like he'll start crying when he starts talking about stuff like this. He'll be like, do you know the dedication that it takes to be able to throw 2 punches so fast that it sounds like one? You know what I mean? And he'll be like, like it's like a thing of beauty. You know what I mean? And this Davis kid got that. You know what I mean? This kid can throw 2 punches and it sounds like one when they land. You could tell. This cat's like, this kid, I really do think this cat's gonna. But see, like that's the thing. Jake Paul is connected in with Illuminati and the Disney World and this and that, and so like I guarantee that this cat is supposed to lose. This Davis kid is supposed to lose. Like that's what the script says is to lose. But I don't know. Davis might not lay it down unless there's 10 million that's going into his daughter's bank account the next morning. Maybe he'll do it for his family. But I see this Davis being the better fighter. Like he's from just I see Davis taking him third round, fourth round. Yeah, I see a knockout. I see a knockout because it's a David and Goliath thing. He's just and he's just overconfident. Paul's overconfident, and you could tell, like I said, the way he's keeping his hands in his Carhartt and not responding. He wants Jake to be overconfident, and go out there and be like, I think he's gonna throw 2. This kid is so well trained that as soon as Paul throws that haymaker, like he thinks he's gonna win, and he's gonna try to throw it, and this kid's gonna slip one in there, and he's gonna get him right, like right in this area, and his knees are gonna give out. I mean, I'm a big Paul fan, like I said, but if I was putting money on it, I wouldn't put anything on Paul this fight, unless except it's him losing. But I mean, Davis is like an actual real fighter. I see. I didn't really know all this, guys. Like, I'm just saying that, like, I know, like, I could just tell right away by looking at it. I mean, he's got a record of 30-0-1, Davis, right? And Paul's a YouTuber that went boxing. This is like me boxing. Like, this is like me boxing Floyd Mayweather. And me going out there acting all confident. And so they call Davis, they call him Tank. He's actually an undefeated world champion. And he's regarded as one of the world's best boxers. Most skilled, insightful, powerful, even though he's small. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. So, and then you have Jake Paul, right? Everyone loves Jake Paul, America's favorite white boy, right? He'll have an advantage in size and reach. He's much bigger. He's got the bigger reach, and he's got a lot of heart. And to be honest, though, it seems like Davis is kind of like a step up in competition from Paul. Jake Paul being on top of the world and having all the great press and everything, like, I'm really surprised to see Jake Paul take on a fight like this because, I mean, it shows a lot about Jake. It shows that Jake is trying to seriously prove himself as a boxer, and absolutely, if Jake wins this fight, I said this about Jake his last fight, so I'm already on Jake's side. But I'm just saying, man, you had all these wins, and you were, everything was so great. But he wants the pride, and that pride can get you hurt, man. But if he wins this fight, Jake Paul is undisputedly one of the best, if he wins. But it's going to be a very, very hard fight for Paul, though. Um, like most people that Paul's went up against were a little bit like less experienced or older than him, or it was exhibition matches. But the thing about this match is it's actually just an exhibition, turns out. So these guys aren't going full go, you know. So that's probably why Paul is so confident, because it's actually just an exhibition. I thought that it was a full fight. So there's only 3 10-minute rounds. Oh, well, all right, guys. So get that, right? This isn't like an HBO, you know what I mean? There's only going to be 3 10-minute rounds to this, and it's an exhibition. So they'll both go all the way through. But maybe not. But no, Paul can make it through 3 rounds with this guy. But this dude's going to, take some pictures of your nose while it's straightened out, Jake. But so I guess both these guys are heavyweights, apparently, right? There'll be a winner at the end with judges, right? If the fight goes the distance, and it doesn't go towards their professional records. Jake Paul announces that there's a big knockout bonus will be awarded to whichever fighter wins by knockout. And both fighters are going to wear 12-ounce gloves. So these two guys are actually really going to go in there and try to knock each other out. Yeah. Yeah, they're actually going to go in there and try to knock each other out is what it sounds. So, like, it's a full go. So it's like a full go exhibition match. Hey, what's up, meme? Okay, all right. I got you, meme. I screenshotted you. We got Nanazar. Okay, Nanazar bought DVDs. So that's that, guys. I mean, are we still in the algorithm, though? Maybe we should sing. I don't know. Maybe we should just keep this video as, as it is. All right, so let's see.
As we get older, a lot of times we feel,
I mean, I don't know.
Certain doors.
Don't tell me, guys.
And
Don't tell me.
Purdue Global does is that there's a left hand. Pays through it. His age, yeah, he's been pretty busy. Look at it.
Oh, throws a lazy jab. That's what you want.
Left hook there. Right hook from Paul. Left through the guard. Left hook. And two. Not a factor right now, and that's a problem for him because of the errors of Silva.
Yeah, you go straight back like he's doing right now. You don't.
Oh, good back there. There we see that. Only one big shot.